the teams are completely different. The talent is completely different. The kind of focus that the Dirt Rally team spend on how do they hone that simulation experience? How do they hone that difficulty to be able to create the best product that they can within Rally? That's what that team is great at, and they're obviously knocking it out of the park. And the Dirt 5 team is spending our time thinking, how are we going to build a product that goes to a wider audience, that's got attitude, that says something more about party and fun. It's not necessarily about being the best, but it's about getting together with friends and having a great time. So those are very different methodologies, and the way that we go about development is very different talented teams.
One of the key things in games development is continuously learning, continuously improving, always getting better, making sure that you're looking at why you're doing things, how you're approaching things. And that's something that the Dirt Rally 2 team and the Dirt 5 team have done a lot of, is looking at how we approach things, from as kind of basic a thing as how do you texture a car, to as complex a thing as how do you organize a team of 100 odd people to make sure you're building the right thing.
We're in a great position of knowing that each other's teams and the other teams around Codemasters are literally only on the end of a phone or an email, and there'll be somebody with experience of what you're trying to achieve who's more than willing to help you out at a moment's notice.
Working on the Dirt Rally game, it clearly is very based in reality and trying to capture the sport as realistically as possible. Getting to work with the guys in Cheshire has been great too. So we've been over and we've had a look at what they've been doing and sharing what we've been doing. And for me as an art director, it's really great that both of the games are distinctly different from each other. So they share a heritage, but visually and thematically, they have their own unique offering.
There's a lot of technical kind of knowledge sharing between the two teams on the programming side, and design-wise, the guys up there, basically, it's their game, and they don't need to check anything with us. They know the brand values of Dirt Rally, and we know the brand values of the numbered Dirt games. And those are two things we really want to keep separate and give two very different flavors, depending on kind of what a player wants.
Community's natural concerns about, does this mean that through splitting the Rally series and the Dirt Numbered series, that means that we're losing focus on any part of it? It's actually the complete opposite to that, and actually what we're looking to do is double down on each of these areas and doubly focus. So the team down at Southam, the Rally team that I'm part of, we are focused absolutely on kicking on the Dirt Rally series and developing that into something even more incredible than it is right now.
Cranking up all the things that are in there that was good, adding new stuff into the mix, so we're kind of exploring ideas and ways to basically really create the definitive rally game for the future.
The team at Cheshire Studio are an incredibly talented team. Sitting down with them and looking at what they built in our early demos for Dirt 5, I was blown away. And it was a great experience for me to take the game early on to other studios at Codemasters to show them what we were doing. And I remember we brought an early demo to one of the teams, and someone came to me and said, so how much of that can you actually deliver? How much of that is really going to be in the game? Because we all know that some things changed early on in development. We reached technical hurdles. There are things that can't always be done. And I was so pleased and so proud to be able to turn to that person and say, actually, everything. There was no smoke and mirrors. The game's beautiful. It plays great. And it's all because we have a different and equally talented team here at Cheshire Studio.
In terms of the split between the kind of Dirt Rally franchise and the Dirt Numbered series, that's something that I actually feel really positive about, because I think what it allows us to do is focus very particularly on the aspects of two very different styles of off-road racing, but focus on it to make sure that we're getting the most accurate representation of both of those types of off-road racing.
We have a studio here of hard-working, dedicated, highly skilled professionals who are passionate about racing and particularly fans of the Dirt franchise. So we wanted to take that under our wing, remember the legacy and the history of the franchise and what Codemasters has done with it, but also put our own spin on it. So hopefully over the coming months, you'll see new features, new content, new game modes that you might not have seen before that really give a refreshing feel to the Dirt franchise.
Dirt 5 and Dirt Rally is so very different. Dirt 5 team and the Dirt Rally team, that they have great respect for one another. We talk regularly about what are they building and why, but actually we want to do the things that are best for our game.
Seeing what the Cheshire team have done and really kind of pushing the spectacle of off-road racing is really quite special.
Dirt Rally 1 and Dirt Rally 2 were, probably the two best rally games there ever been.
Now that we have two distinct teams, Dirt 5 up in Cheshire and Dirt Rally in Southam, that gives us the opportunity to kind of explore what we would want to do next. We don't have to divert any resource or think any differently from what we do best.
It's more pick up and play. Everyone can get into it, enjoy it, love it. And for those who want a bit more out of it, there's still that in there as well. It just helps us cater to different kind of audiences, give them what they want.
The fact that we've got two dedicated teams is brilliant, and it means you don't want to put all that resource into making just one kind of game when you've got a broad player base who want different kinds of rally experience.
So thinking about Dirt 5, we want to do some of the more crazy things that we don't feel that we should do in Dirt Rally. Dirt Rally is an authentic simulation experience. But there are other players who want to see mud slapping up the side of the windows. They want to see great vistas and lightning bolts striking across hillsides. And that's the game that we want to make. That's the game we are making.
We're bolder, we're brighter, we're more action-packed. We talk about amplified and dynamism in our game. Bright blue skies, rain turning into snow, muddy ground, you name it in terms of visual effects, and we're trying to do it. The game, Dirt Rally, is really for your hardcore fan, the people who really understand racing, the people who have rigs set up, and every minute turn of the wheel, every angle makes a difference. The amount of throttle you put up and down, really has a big impact on how well you can get around those really tricky tracks. Our game is more about racing against other people. There's 12 players in a race. You're gonna exchange some paint. You're gonna get messed up. There's gonna be some damage. What we don't have is an idea of mechanical damage. We felt like that's a Dirt Rally thing. That's really hardcore, that you can break off your front wheel and still try and make it round. We wanted our game to be slightly more accessible than that, open and easy for others to get into, but whilst at the same time having depth in the handling model.
What we don't really want to have to do is try and mash everybody into the same pot and make an experience that isn't perfect for one group or the other. Whereas now we really have the opportunity to keep doing what we do for the Dirt Rally fans, and then Dirt 5 is able to go all out and show people how kind of exciting everything to do with off-road can be. And there's so many different ways to play Dirt 5 and so many different experiences to be had there. I think there's something for everyone, but they by no means need to be, pushing to become a professional esports driver in their spare time in order to get the most out of it.
How do we take racing games to different people? And looking at the products that we make, I was thinking, I'm not sure that there's a product for me, something that makes me feel that is a game that I really am desperate to get home and play every night. That's not to say that I don't like the Codemasters games. They're obviously great. Dirt Rally is a very, very serious racing game. The Dark Souls of racing, that's what people call it, right? And that means that there's going to be those players that they have to be number one. They're competing every night. They're going home trying to shave milliseconds off of their time trial time. But there are other players who want to see mud slapping up the side of the windows. They want to see great vistas and lightning bolts striking across hillsides. And that's the game that we want to make. That's the game we are making.